Welcome, students. Follow me as I guide you on this incredible journey that is TC Weekly. See you on the other side.
Well, it is an opportunity for the students to put together a little votive of bamboo stalks for themselves. They call it the Lucky Bamboo. Basically, the student comes in and grabs a little votive glass, selects one of the three, or each one of the three sizes. There's a large, a medium, and a small size. Can rubber band them together, make it a little bit more stable, and they can pour the charcoal rocks into it, add a little water. We basically just kind of make sure that they're walking through the steps, and what we do is we hand out a little piece of literature for them that explains, how to take care of it and basically the requirements to keep it alive. It's very, very low maintenance, just to change the water once a week, just to keep about an inch of water in there, and it'll actually grow and stay alive. You can actually split them, but it's up to the person if they want to transplant it into a bigger area. So obviously it's going to be a plant that you're going to keep inside your house, because with our climate it's not going to survive too long out in one of our winters. HVAC is the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning program. So we basically work on furnaces, air conditioners, small refrigeration units, stuff like that. The gentleman I did it with, John, we're both of the officers for the HVAC club here at school. And it was one of our opportunities to make a little money for our club and actually kind of get our club out there a little bit. This was the first year, so it's kind of new to us, so we were kind of learning as we were going too. So it was still really fun though. This is the only one that we've done so far. We actually, for our community service, we actually do the Salvation Army ringing the bells. So we try to get a group of guys to go, and we'll just go to various locations and ring bells for an hour or two. So that works out for us every year. It's really kind of nice. It's kind of fun too.
Hi, my name is Jay and I'm in the band Taking Flight. My bandmates and I would like to bring to your attention a common but disastrous problem that is currently plaguing today's bands. We're broke.
As of today, 5 out of 5 members of Taking Flight are completely broke.
This is a serious problem.
I have car payments.
I have student loans.
I have a wife. Being in a band isn't always sunshine and roses. Sometimes it's just the opposite. Sometimes it's just plain old-fashioned work. I didn't join a band for that. I joined it for fun. But how can you have fun without cash?
The other day, I had to downgrade from PBR to Milwaukee's Best.
I can't afford water. Well, bottled water.
This is a serious affliction spreading across this band. Each day it grows worse and worse.
The other day, I had to buy my produce from Aldi's.
I couldn't afford the extra $5 to see a movie in 3D.
Maybe you're sitting there and you're becoming affected by what you're seeing. That's good. Just know that there is a way you can help. We're so broke. Brandon and Logan couldn't even afford the gas to drive over here to shoot this with us. For $20 a day, you can save this band member's life.
Look into this dude's eyes and tell him $20 is too much.
Just know that your $20 will go towards enriching a band member's life.
With $20 a day, a band member can receive proper nutrition.
With $20 a day, a band member can receive proper boredom treatment.
With $20 a day, a band member can receive reliable internet and phone service.
Don't delay. Donate your $20 today. Call 1-900-BAND-DRAMA. Operators are standing by.
Sorry, Jim. I think that's too many letters.
Oh, okay. Sorry, 1-900-BAND-RAM. Donate your $20 today. Operators are standing by.
Please help.
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But I just run out of things to say.
Oh, that's
It's the
fine.
first thing that comes to mind.
Unfortunately.
I'm Alex. I am a behaviorist at the Bay Area Humane Society. I've worked there for about a year now, and my main job is to conduct temperament tests on the dogs before they're moved up for adoption. The behavior test consists of a lot of things. First thing we check for is handling. We check their teeth and their ears and make sure we can check their paws and that they're okay with it. And the second thing we test for is food guarding. We give them a bowl of food and take it away and make sure they let us take it without growling. Another thing we test for is also resource guarding, which means guarding like their toys and stuff. We want to make sure that any dog we send out to the public is going to be family friendly. So we give them some toys and try and take them away. Another part of the test is we test a dog with another dog to make sure, what kind of household they can go into, whether they have to be the only dog or whether they work well with other dogs. And the final part of the test, we just take a little bit of blood and test them for heartworm to make sure they're all healthy. And if they pass all their tests, they get moved up for adoption and can find their home.
My name is Mary Beth Betcher, and I'm the lead faculty for the Early Childhood Education Program. The Early Childhood Education Program is a 2-year associate degree in early childhood. So that means we are working with and teaching students how to work appropriately with children from birth to age 8. That's considered the early childhood age. Well, of course, first the application process, and that includes things like your high school transcripts being sent to NWTC. Students also need to have a criminal background check done through the Criminal Justice Department, and that has to be passed. Sometimes there can be things that are on a record, but they don't go against our program. But when there are really significant things or any kind of crimes against children or domestic violence, that type of thing, that can sometimes lead a student not to be accepted into the program. In this program, students are very active. Each semester they have a practicum, which is student teaching out in the community. So we try to get them active right from the very start, where they're learning how to do things like interact with young children and read books appropriately. So we're teaching the skills that they need to have to be able to get a job in the field. And that happens to be where they have to learn whether or not they like working with children, being around children, dealing with all the messes that come with working with children. So it's a great way to get them right into the program and right off the start. They're active also doing things like service learning projects where they are in places. We do some right here on campus where we're providing an environment. The students set up an environment and they provide childcare where parents come and take parenting classes. So those are just little 2-hour segments of time. But students are also involved in things such as working at the House of Hope, which is a homeless shelter for young women, 18 to 24, that have young children, or the Marion House, which is a group center for young girls or pregnant teens and moms, as well as their transitional apartments, where they have young women 18 to 20-something that have young children. So we try to bring our students out into the community to help with events to, I guess, get them involved. I mentioned some of the service learning events. Some other events included in service learning would be the big event for little kids. We do something called Frost Fest, which is through the Brown County Resource Department. And we also have events specifically for the students here, such as orientation. It's required. We're part of the Dream Catchers program here at NWTC now. So students have to come to campus for orientation, or they have to do an online orientation real specific to our program. We also have open houses where students are invited to come and partake in some activities. We also have our academic advisor there, our dean. It's quite an interactive evening. And we have events such as the students and their cooperating teachers from their student teaching sites will come to an event that we sponsor each semester. To succeed in this program, you need a real can-do attitude. People have to be able to pitch in the job site, and it's the same way in class. We teach students that they have to work together on projects as well as you do in the workplace. So you have to be able to have those skills and be able to look at people, talk to people, approach people such as they're going to do in the workplace, which would be approaching parents, directors, other teachers, and be able to work successfully. So they need to be positive, have a positive attitude, and be a real can-do type of a person.
Welcome back to Coffee Talk. I'm your host, Lauren. Ryan's hard at work behind the camera. In the hallway outside the campus buzz, there are several different places that we have visited. So we're going to go down the hallway and visit the Center for Global Cultures.
Hi, my name is Emma Garcia. I'm the coordinator for the Center of Global Cultures here at NWTC. And welcome and thank you for coming today. I've worked at NWTC for the past 11 years. Previously we had this center named Multicultural Center, and we just merged with International Education, and so now we're both international and domestic, servicing both domestic students and international. So we're bringing more opportunities for everyone. Working with diverse, it's never dull. It's always exciting. So when you come into work, you never have the same day every single day. It's never stagnant. We have different opportunities. We always have to stay on top of things that are going out there, legislation, how it's affecting our students. It's a lot of things that we have to keep in mind. Try to keep up with events for the not only staff to be aware of different cultural backgrounds, but also students. We have different groups in the center that offer opportunities for students to work with each other, and for the community and for the college to be more aware of the cultural diversity that's here. As you see, our campus is more diverse. We try to bring in students, and not only bring them, but also retain them. And one of the things that we do well is, creating a great environment here at NWTC to help them stay here. What we do is we offer food as a carrot to help you ease your anxiety per se, because a lot of students feel that this is not the place for them because they see people different from them. And so we want to ease that, and we try to be welcoming by offering food. But it's an opportunity for us to show you what we have available and the opportunities and resources that the center offers. The campus is open to the community, and it's for everyone, so anyone is welcome. And we tried our new motto here is to open the doors so that everybody feels welcome. And so, we have different posters outside that display that. We have 5 associations for the minorities, because they're the ones who feel as an outsider. You, meaning the bigger population, the white population, is supposed to feel more welcome and make us feel more welcome. So that's what we're trying to do. Raise awareness. It's not you and them. We always, you white, you Hispanic, we separate, but we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we understand each other and embrace our differences.
The issues of the world today. Are they a hopeless endeavor, or something we can remedy all by ourselves?
He needs a breath of fresh air.
We continue to face an economic crisis that has left millions of our neighbors jobless.
It is up to us to see beyond what meets the eye, to challenge these issues, and to defend what we believe in. This is Something to Fight For.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another fine edition of Something to Fight For, the weekly podcast segment that focuses on the contrast and comparison of others being interviewed based on the social issues of the week, being elaborated and discussed by yours truly. And as always, I'm your unassuming host, Mr. Drew Danon. This week's issue, we are going to be discussing that of sense of humor. No matter how extreme the content might be, if it has a good enough moral message to be taught, that it can transcend the barriers of both young and old. Is this necessarily true, rings true for everybody as far as my point of view is concerned? We went to the campus of NWTC yet again to find out from the students what they think of this.
What makes you laugh?
Basically anything like Tosh.0, anything straight to the point.
The ability to laugh at myself. If I can see humor in something that I can relate to myself, that normally makes it funny for me.
I like physical hurt. Sometimes it's always funny, but then you feel bad because, oh, what if that was you? But it's still like really funny. Or I just like silly humor, anything stupid that you might not, people there might not think is funny, but you think is funny, stuff like that.
If you had a choice between watching a family comedy that relies sort of on gimmicks in order to sway the audience into believing a certain point of view, kind of like safe humor like the Fred series or Hannah Montana, or would you choose the more extreme form of humor such as South Park that takes careful considerations to find irony and contrast between both sides of an issue and in the end find a resolution to those matters?
I would choose the South Park one. I think they do a really good job of pointing out the points of view and just blowing it out of proportion and making it funny.
I think South Park is fantastic. I like the idea of them making fun of not only one political side, but of everybody. There's nothing sacred there. And they are able to do it normally without the profanity also. So, yeah, I like South Park.
If you have any children, would you want them to watch a show that's more on the extreme side if it has a good enough moral value?
I guess like once they get older, maybe not right away when they're like still like 6, 7 years old. I wouldn't want them to watch like kind of more of the extreme stuff because some of it's a little too much. But maybe when they're older, definitely, so they understand what's actually going on and why it's funny, instead of like, ew, what is that?
I have grandchildren, and I would want to see it first, but as long as there wasn't anything that I think is out of limits, yeah, I would let my 11 and 9-year-old grandson watch them.
Okay, cool. Just as long as it's not like using that as a means just to be like shockful, I guess.
Yeah, that's correct. Again, as long as they can stay away from the profanity, I don't want that around my grandkids.
I don't know. Depends on how old my kids are. I don't know. My parents never like censored me, and I don't know if I would do the same. Like, I'd be like, no, don't watch it, but I would probably put my 2 cents in and be like, I don't like that show, and I would let them know why, and if they keep watching it, that's going to be up to them, I guess.
So obviously it's all a matter of personal accountability. If you let your kids know what the difference is between shock and what's morally acceptable, then more than likely, I think they'll get it. And we have for this week's show. To see the extended version of this show with other episodes of Something to Fight For, go to our official YouTube page at VALO Profile Ltd, where you can subscribe to more episodes of Something to Fight For in their entirety. And until next time, I'm your host Drew Danon, and keep fighting the good fight.
And don't forget to subscribe to TC Weekly on iTunes.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of How to Get Abs, with me, your host Tony. Today we're going to cover one simple ab technique that you can do at your own home, at your own convenience, anytime, anywhere. So with that being said, I'm going to teach you the simple ab crunch, how to do it effectively, and how to do it correctly so your muscles don't hurt or anything like that. Doing ab exercises not only helps burn fat, but helps the formation of your ab muscles. The ab crunch targets the rectus abdominis. It's one long muscle. Any twist and motion you do with your body targets obliques, such as this exercise. A benefit of doing ab workouts, out of many, is that strong abs help stabilize the spine and keep you from injuring your back. I'm going to show you the basic way to do a crunch. First things first, you want to make sure your feet are flat on the floor. They have to be flat on the floor. Next, your knees have to be bent. You can cup your hand below your stomach, or if you want more resistance, put your hands behind your head, or use weights. Make sure your lower back is flat on the ground. Make sure there's no gap in your lower back. Third step, once you have your hands in a position of your choosing, make sure you have a good clasp on them. And if you're doing your hands behind your head, make sure you don't use your hands to move your head. Fourth step is that now pull your stomach muscles towards your spine. Lift your shoulders off from the ground. You should try to go as high as you can without lifting your lower back off the ground. As you're doing that, exhale as you sit up and inhale as you lie down. For next time, I'm going to cover more nutrition to help you get that six-pack you always wanted. I'm your host Tony. I'll catch you later.
Tonight, I will be discussing Sonny Stitt's solo on the song On the Sunny Side of the Street on the album Sunny Side Up. Stitt's solo combines laid-back swing style with a few bebop licks to keep it lively. Stitt starts his solo with a smooth melody that lays into the blue notes of the chords. Here's his solo. Stitt then throws in a quick bebop line. While it is a flurry of notes, the most important notes are the emphasized ones. Listen for the notes that seem to stick out. Stitt puts more volume into these notes because they're more important than the others. After a quick swing line, Stitt goes into another bebop line. This time, he throws in some sequences at the end to show his technical prowess. To finish his solo, Stitt goes back to the slower swing lines that allow him to spend more time on the really colorful and powerful notes. Here's Dizzy Gillespie and Sonny Rollins finish out the song with fantastic solos. On the Sunny Side of the Street is one of my favorite songs, and this version is one of the best.
Thank you for joining me this evening. This has been Too Late at Night. I'm your host, Colin Eggers, and we'll see you next time.
Influence. The capacity to have an effect on the character, development, and/or behavior of someone or something. The way you apply it is entirely up to you. This is Influential Entertainment.
Welcome to our 7th episode. Today we'll be taking a look at a few different forms of expression.
We've interviewed a few friends about how they express their thoughts, feelings, and creativity.
How I usually express myself through drawing is usually how I feel emotionally during the time I am drawing. Like, I'll use my characters as a projection for how I'm feeling. Like, if I'm feeling really sad, depressed, I want to cry, I'll draw my characters crying, and it's a way to relieve some of the stress and pain I'm having. My inspiration for drawing my webcomic, or any type of drawing in general, is probably mainly because when I was little, I've always drawn. I just did a lot of art, and it just became so natural for me. But I do have someone who really inspires me right now, and that's Masashi Kishimoto. His most famous work right now is the manga called Naruto. Like, I can look at his work, see how he's doing it, and from that, I can work on my own style. I'm learning more about how to do, a comic style, and especially how to do people and stuff, and it really just helps me keep on going.
My favorite thing to write is fiction, but I dabble in nonfiction too. Nonfiction consists of my ideas and my viewpoints on stuff like politics and my personal life and just like world problems, even though that sounds really broad. I really like to use writing as a method to express myself, in that I get to do whatever I want, basically. I can create an entire world and have characters do what I want them to do. I've been known to write some pretty out there stories, and that's one of my favorite parts of writing fiction. I have a lot of influences, especially when it comes to fiction writing. Two main ones right now would be David Wong, the author of John Dies at the End, and Neil Gaiman, the author of American Gods. Gaiman really likes to use cool metaphors and adjectives, and I really like words.
What inspires me to paint is, I guess just being able to experiment and to prove to myself every time I do it that I can do it again. It's not just this fluke that I have one good painting. I really like art history, and I know the artists that I really like abstract expressionists, and like Gustav Klimt. He's a crazy guy. I really like him. I appreciate his name. I always remember what I was thinking about or what I was watching or listening to whenever I pull out something I was painting or drawing, and I'm like, I don't think I'm troubled and depressed, so I need to paint this troubled and depressed. It sort of just comes through.
Clearly, expression is tailored to the individual. There are as many modes as there are people in the world.
Nearly 7 billion.
One's assigned gender and gender role play a large part in how people express themselves.
We'll discuss this further in the next episode.
Join us next time on TC Weekly.
How do you express yourself, matey?
We're journeying through this momentous time together. You might say we're different people because of it. Please tune in next week.